What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is really moving it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid's pulling back slightly, 0.92%. It did have a nice spike to roughly $2.25 first thing, but since then it kind of just diminished, low of $2.14. In my opinion, this spike that did happen was largely because of, based on what my video stated late last night, just bigger names are kind of looking at Lucid as a squeeze play, which kind of has its pros and cons. It shows Lucid as more of a meme stock rather than anything. And then flip side, if it goes up, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy. So that's one thing, as well as this. So a lot of people are speculating that Jaguar and Lucid are going to have some sort of licensing agreement, and Jaguar does have their big unveil today. So they're going to be unveiling their EV that's most likely, I think, going to come late 2025, if I remember correctly. But a lot of people, especially based on the specs, are assuming that there's going to be some partnership announced. Even this individual did state that they wouldn't be surprised if Lucid and Jaguar did some sort of supply agreement, licensing, something along those lines. So yeah, that'd be really good for Lucid, bringing in more essential revenue and whatever else. This individual has 9,200 followers on Twitter and all about EVs. So once again, do your own due diligence at the end of the day. The only other thing I wanted to really bring up that might be influencing the price is this right here. So Saudi Bey did post about 𝗖𝗧𝗪, and so ultimately he did state that they're on track to produce more than 10,000 cars a year. And then I highlighted this, or he even highlighted this, if necessary. So it all comes down to demand. Ultimately, this article says the exact same thing, that Lucid's on track for 10,000. Prior to this, it was 5,000 out of AMP-2, and for 2026, it's estimated to be 150,000. It kind of signals, I think, in general, what they've mentioned is they're behind the gun. So I don't know if it's still going to be 2026 or maybe late 2026 for the 150,000. And AMP-1 right now is at phase 2, so they can do 90,000. So yeah, in general, Lucid could really ramp up significantly. They have more than enough capacity to do so. Just it all depends on like demand, right? Demand if necessary, as what he even states right here. So yeah, I think Lucid's marketing really does need to revamp themselves, because I think there's a lot of good opportunity for Lucid in 2025 and 2026 that if they don't market themselves accordingly, they'll kind of miss out on. And as of right now, Ortex seems to be glitching. It's not really showing any update, but as of right now, 24.68% of the free float is being shorted. Moving over to options, market's been only open around an hour and a bit. There's 290,000 in calls, 38,000 in puts, and based on the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above 250, and even more so some for 350 and 450. So a lot more optimism. Could be stemming from one of the many things I did bring up, but the bears are anticipating for it to be sub $2. So it is all going to come down to the technicals, and I'll go over that in a second. But so far, only 2 transactions on the secondary market above $100,000, a buy for 1.4 million. So that's ultimately what caused it to go high, straight out the gate, and then 336,000 sell, and that was 2 minutes later. So that's basically what kind of brought it down. So yeah, interesting stuff when it comes down to that. But like I mentioned, it will all come down onto the technicals. And as of right now, it is flirting exactly with that ALMA. So ALMA is $2.15, or rounding up 216. You can kind of see the numbers right over here. So I have the ALMA 5100 200-day moving average. It is below all of them. As I mentioned on my video over the weekend, this right here, this super trend, is a very key point to watch for, because if it is able to kind of break above this, this is where the algorithms will start to signal Lucid as a buy. But right now, it just needs to get its crap together and start continuing to move higher. And yeah, I think just it needs some concrete news, because usually stocks don't just run up for no reason. And I think Lucid investors have had their fair share of speculation based on partnerships in the past, whether it be, I'm pretty sure at this stage, like almost every automaker, there's been some speculation on some partnership in one way or another. So I think just people are just saying, like, show me, just tell me the damn truth, what is coming out. I think so. That's kind of what is happening right now. But as far as fib levels, with it at $2.17, is trading between this pivot and this S1. So this 214 has been kind of the saving grace for Lucid. It's bounced off of that whenever it's been tested. So $2.14 for the rest of the day. Just kind of watch for that. And then $2.64 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And most likely during power hour today, you're going to see a lot of volatility, probably in the negative, only because of JOLTS data coming out tomorrow. So you're going to have last minute paper hands just worrying about that. And so, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that all does play out. But let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. If you are buying, if you are selling, do you think that this Jaguar partnership is going to come to fruition, or is this just another rumor? And in regards to the 10,000, do you think that in the Middle East there is sufficient amount of demand to justify that? Or like, what's your viewpoint based on the last couple earnings? Even though Lucid doesn't actually say it or have any obligation to say where their deliveries are being majority are being done, they have stated that the States is obviously the target market and has been pretty much their primary delivery. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they say for this upcoming earnings, just to see about this 10,000, if it's realistic or not. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing I just wanted to share with you, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely bangers, so pop over there, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.